Oh, yes, and you are live. It's another Friday night. This is the Gauntlet. Let's go. I am Denzel Snipes, and coming up here shortly are going to be my guys, the team, JJ Mad Max Jenkins, and Detroit Dom. But before we get into it, just want to tell everybody to follow us on all of our platforms. You know, the usual suspects: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and also on TikTok as well as Sideline Sports, and also James Tatum 12 on Facebook on YouTube as well. So Sideline Sports YouTube and James Tatum 12 as well. Well, let's go ahead and get the guys up in here. We got Detroit Dom in the building, and we got JJ first day of vacation Jenkins in the building. What's going on, fellas?
How we doing?
What's up?
Been a few words.
Hold on a second.
I'm in a good space right now.
You're on vacation, JJ?
Well, yeah. And I'm also.
Did you just take a vacation like a couple months ago? You must have hella PTO saved up.
Maybe a month and a half ago, but yeah, I did.
Well,
nah, I'm just saying I'm on cloud 9 right now. So.
Oh, okay. We'll feel you. We'll definitely feel you on that one. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get it started. And that is our sports morons of the week. The most egregious actions and takes from the sports world. Your favorite, my favorite, everyone's favorite. So, who wants to kick us off? Dom, you got a sports moron?
I do. Okay, so I saw something. I wasn't on Twitter. I'm hoping it's not, some sort of copy pasta and fake, but some guy, and it's usually kind of lame to just call out random, Twitter users. But this man, a Richard Johnson, he did have the acronym NFL next to his name. I don't know if he's actually affiliated with the NFL in any way. I don't know if he's a writer. He could just be some jackass that put NFL at the end of his name to make it look more official. But either way, I couldn't let this one go by the wayside. So this man said that the Jets are expected to check in on Patrick Mahomes in the offseason. And I was like, you can check in all you want. It ain't no way in hell that they're gonna make that trade. And then to make it even worse, it said Mahomes may prefer to rebuild with a different team if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs. Yeah. Because, panic in Missouri if they miss the playoffs for 1 year. Mahomes, I'm sure, is going to go to the GM and be like, hey, you got to get me out of here. You got to trade me. I'm done. Fuck Andy Reid. Fuck this city. Fuck the 3 Super Bowl rings I've got them. I want to go play for the Jets.
Of all teams.
Fucking insane. I may have to start trolling this guy on Twitter because if you're actually affiliated with the NFL, you should no longer be affiliated with the NFL. And just shit like this, I can't just let it go. Like, they tried to make it look all official, like it was news or newsworthy, and it's like, there's no fuck. Like, yeah, they could make all. Who's the Chiefs GM? Still Veach?
I don't know.
Whoever it is, I guarantee you, because all the GMs, they have all the other GMs' numbers in their cell phone, right? And I don't even know who the Jets GM is. But I promise you, whoever Casey's GM is, if he sees that phone ringing and it's the Jets GM, he's not answering.
No.
Yeah,
I would bet money on that one. There's going to be a ton of overreaction if the Chiefs, because you figure when the Eagles beat the Chiefs last year in the postseason, the first thing they wanted to say was, well, is the dynasty over? Is that it? So if they don't make the postseason, they're really gonna. You figure they're really gonna be like, well, it's the dynasty over with. Is it really done? But the absolute last thing. Now, anybody with sense, unless Brittany Mahomes has some sort of black magic on Patrick,
the Jets,
and it's like you do want to go to and live in New York City. Other than that, I highly doubt that if they make
the Jets
don't
do have a bunch of extra first-round picks now. Maybe that's where that guy came up with this crazy shit. But
You
If that
guys
was
are
the key
great.
point to his argument, you'd think he would have mentioned that. Like,
You
you
guys are
can't just
great.
post something
You
like
guys
that
are
with no
great.
context.
You guys are great for TV, for even entertaining us, like, as long as you have. This is so funny just listening to you guys. Because listening to Jay say, like, Britney, Black Magic, I'm like, what are we talking about here? Like, so I was like, okay, they are good for TV. They got to drag this topic out, so go ahead and do it. Like,
No. That was about it.
Oh,
Actually,
it's
on
ridiculous.
you.
We were just pontificating on where he could have come up with this crackpot theory.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
You said crackpot theory. The
Yes.
first half of the first word you said, that's where he got it from. Because it only would take doing that to come up with a theory like that. Anyway, JJ, my brother, go ahead, man. What's more on who you got?
Could I switch it up to, like, a sports praise?
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Like a praise, because this quote that came out from Michael Pittman Jr. about the new owner, Jim's daughter, just something I wanted to speak on, because it's like, I actually wish James was on this here, because I would actually amend my statement about the Colts because of what they're saying. Michael Pittman said, it doesn't matter if it's Jonathan Taylor or a random player. Our owner wants to hear what everyone has to say. Everyone has a chance to speak their mind and be able to talk and learn, and she takes everything in. That's amazing. That is amazing, because when you have an environment like that and you have an owner like that, it makes you excited to go to work. Then when you're excited to go to work in this field, you work harder. Then when you work harder, the results show. So seeing that, I'm just like, okay, I may have to change my opinion on the Colts' future the rest of the way, because positive reinforcement, a positive environment really does go a long way. And these Colts, I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl, but I definitely think they're going to make the playoffs now and probably do some really, maybe get to an AFC championship game or a divisional round with the competitive game against the eventual representative of the AFC. Who knows? But I do love that quote, because that's just, I don't see too many owners that do that. But for them to speak on that, that's a big deal, because at the end of the day, it works wonders on you. So I gotta give a shout out to, I don't know her full name, but Jim Irsay's daughter, and how she is, taking charge as an owner, doing it her way.
Okay. Indeed. So something a little opposite than the sports moron. No, well done. Well done on that one. I would go ahead. I'm going to be quick for mine. I'm going to send a sports moron to anybody. And I need y'all to hear me out. I'm going to send a shout out, or a sports moron, to anyone who reserved judgment for Shedeur Sanders after last Sunday. The man got put in a live game situation. He went 4 of 16, and he threw an interception, and he still got put in a position to have a game-tying drive. Made one of the best throws that he made all day, Ultimately came up short. He took responsibility for it. He said, hey, that happened on my watch, I'm going to get better. But see, here's the thing. This is the type of thing that you would expect from someone who has had, zero first team reps from OTAs until last Sunday. There should have been no reason that the first time that he ever threw to the first team was in a live game situation after the starter, has been concussed and is ruled out of the game. I'm not here to force people to like Shedeur Sanders. You can love the kid, you can hate the kid. That is your prerogative. The only thing that I ask is, before you reserve judgment, you give the kid a fair chance. Nobody would like to have one hand tied behind that back in order to go in the ring and fight Mike Tyson. And then once they lose, get told, oh, well, you can't fight. So it looks like Shedeur Sanders is getting the start this Sunday. And even then, he's only going to have a week of throwing to the first team, but that's better than he had previously. So I would say you give him a couple of starts, maybe even a little longer, and then reserve judgment. But for one game last Sunday in relief pitching, no, that's you can't handcuff him and then go and say, oh yeah, see, I told you the kid sucks. Especially since after what he put up in the preseason, yeah, okay, I get it, it's preseason, But again, no first team reps. That is unheard of, and it sounds to me like somebody's getting set up here. But hey, that's another story. Anyway, we'll move on to our next segment. You know what? Speaking of which, JJ, that was your game last Sunday. Your thoughts about that? I told you, Browns-Ravens. The Browns are never a slam dunk.
I mean, we both, have that opinion of that team. That's, at the end of the day. But, I mean, you pretty much said it. I don't really have any opinions on it because at the end of the day, I don't really pay attention to the noise that people say about this young man. But you said it. You pretty much said it.
You guys see the stuff that came out? I mean, who knows if it's true, but allegedly Kevin Stefanski's plan with Shedeur Sanders was for this to be a redshirt year for him, and he wasn't expecting him to play at all. I think that was just more so his way of covering his ass as to why he had no first-team reps. But, I mean, honestly, if I've got a QB3 on my roster, I don't think I'm giving him a lot of first-team reps either. Maybe sprinkle him in. Once Flacco got traded.
You still got
either way. I mean, it's the Browns, so nothing that they do that doesn't look good. None of it surprises me.
And you know what, Dom? I get that, but at least you said in your take that if you was head coach, okay, you wouldn't give him that many. Shedeur had 0. Not that many is a little more than 0 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
His first time throwing at Jerry Jeudy and everybody else was against the Ravens.
Right. And it's not like Dylan Gabriel's, hold on the QB1 spot isn't firm. It's not like we're talking about Patrick Mahomes and whoever KC's backup is. You should be sprinkling some in there because you never know what's going to happen. Like, Gabriel could get hurt. He might play shitty and you want to bench him, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the Browns.
And don't forget, he's it's looking like last I heard, he could come back this season. But as far as the quarterback talk and controversy in Cleveland, the starting quarterback is Deshaun Watson, Mr. 250 guaranteed himself. When he is 100% cleared to play, he's coming for his job back. It's going to be his. No matter how well Shedeur Sanders may do, he can have the hot hand. But as soon as Deshaun's cleared to play, Shedeur is out. Watson's back in.
I keep forgetting about and then remembering and then forgetting again that they even have Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic, and that is our Gauntlet Grinders for NFL Week 11. These are the most outstanding players. I'm talking about these players who was on their grind and really, really were the driving force in helping their team win, and the all-rare Gauntlet Grinder in a losing effort. They were the ones that kept them in the game, but they weren't the reason that they lost the game. So, we'll swing it over to Dom. Dom, who you have for your Gauntlet Grinders for Week 11?
NFC, I'm going Bryce Young. 31 of 45, 448 passing yards, 3 TDs, no picks. That was far and away the best game of his career. I'm trying to remember who they beat.
Atlanta.
That's right, Atlanta. What a mess that is in Atlanta. We could probably talk about that later. Penix is out for the rest of the year. Again, 5th season in the last 8 where he's ended the season with an injury. Early, I might add. AFC, I'm going Josh Allen, 19 of 30, 317 yards, 3 TDs. He did have 2 picks, but then he also had 48 rushing yards and 3 more scores on his own feet. So a 6-pack of touchdowns from Josh Allen. They needed every single one of those because it was an absolute shootout against Tampa.
Yes, Tampa.
Then they went like 50-49 or something.
Yeah, it was like 44-32, something funky like that.
Yeah, hell of a game by him, but we'll talk about him more later. But yeah, Josh Allen, Bryce Young.
All right, JJ, who you got for your gauntlet grinders, brother?
Well, I'll give it to Christian McCaffrey and the AFC. There wasn't really a lot of gaudy numbers out there from a lot of guys, so it really was the actual grind of it all. Had over 125 plus, over 120 receiving and rushing yards, and also had 3 scores, which was pretty much the margin between their win between the Arizona Cardinals. And the AFC side, I'm going to shout him out, yes, from my team, because it happened and it gave this time a little bit of an extra little bump to everything, which was Mark Andrews, 35-yard score on the most, and we have all converted that 4th down on Madden 02 to 2003, where everybody stocks up the A gap. You hit it around and hit that B or C gap, and then you just take it to the house. And that was a grind, because anytime we play the Browns make it very tough. You really have to grind it out. So not really too much else out there, but I could recognize Gainwell. They're pretty good.
Okay. All right. Well, as far as gauntlet grinders over here in this direction, in the NFC, same game, Dom. I'm going to give it to, I hope I'm saying his name right, Tataroa McMillan.
No one, including his mother, even knows how to pronounce his first name. I believe it's Tataroa, but don't quote me on that. I have not met the man. I have not asked him how he prefers to have it pronounced. Chances are they'll finally ask him in an interview, and it'll be something different than any of us thought.
I'm pretty sure his mom knows how to say it, because she kind of gave it to him, Dom. That's a little
hyperbole, sir.
Anyway, he had 8 catches for 130 yards. He averaged 16.3 yards per catch and 2 touchdowns to boot, en route to a 30-27 win versus Atlanta in overtime. And in the AFC, I'm going to go with Travis Etienne with 19 carries for 73 yards and 2 scores. He averaged 5.8 yards per carry, and they demolished, yes, Dom, the Chargers chargered hard, real hard, 35-6. Honorable mention, I'm actually going to give it to the Rams defense, the entire Rams defense against the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, it came down to a last-second field goal try by the Seahawks and everything. It was a great game. Damn Sarnold showed up, not Sam Darnold. But they picked the boy off 4 times. So there you have it. But when we return, those are our gauntlet riders for NFL Week 11.
Yo.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I'm saying, yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, when we return, we will recap last night's Thursday night football games, one of the better games of the year. This is the Gauntlet. We're going to pay some bills. We will be right back. And we're back, and this is the Gauntlet Season 5, and we are live. Myself, the sniper himself, Denzel Snipes, also Detroit Dom to my right, and right below is JJ, first day of vacation, Jenkins. First day, he's counting his days, hours, and minutes and all that, because that's what black people do. We kind of sleep too. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to move on to our next topic, and that is, how about General Mills, Money Mills? You know, Davis Mills is 6'4". Let it be known he's 6'4", and 3 feet of it is his neck alone. The Houston Texans pulled off the stunt. Well, some people are saying the stunner by defeating the Buffalo Bills 23-19. It seemed like, and see, that was Dom's Gauntlet grinder was Josh Allen. He was rolling last week, 6 total touchdowns. They was partying, and then all it came right back down to earth. Boom. Houston's defense forcing 3 turnovers. That's 2 Caden Bullock interceptions, and he had a forced fumble. And they sacked quarterback Josh Allen 8 times and handed him his 4th loss in NRG Stadium. So, Dom, your thoughts about tonight's game, and also, did this game sink the Bills' AFC East hopes?
I did not know he got sacked 8 times. I know I saw 4 or 5 of them. 8 is a lot. Did it sink their hopes? They definitely got some catching up to do. I'm not really sure what's going on with the Bills right now. I think maybe there is or was an idea, now that KC doesn't look necessarily like a huge threat in the conference. They might not even make the playoffs. And with the slow start that Baltimore got off to, although they've rebounded and they're still going to be right there, it's just the Bills have lost a lot of games against teams that they should not have lost to. Like, I think maybe they thought they were just going to sleepwalk their way to the AFC title game, and they're like, oh. And I mean, weeks ago, obviously it's not the case now, but in their minds, I think they thought, oh, we don't got to worry about we don't got to worry about Mahomes. We don't got to worry about Jackson. I guess we don't need to worry about any of our opponents between now and then either. We'll just get there and then just steamroll everyone. Clearly not the case. I didn't look at the game log, but I'd be more than willing to bet that James Cook did not have the number of carries that he should have. The man is averaging like 5.5, 5.6 per tote. Give that man the ball.
He had 17 carries for 116 in the score, and the score was a 49-yarder, 45-yarder, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so they actually they did utilize him pretty decently for once, but it still wasn't enough. Also, the Bills revamped that defense to beat Kansas City and no one else.
Yeah, pretty much. Isn't it? This is why I said the Bills have become like the enigma of the NFL because. Well, I said that about the Falcons too. But it's like, okay, so this year, right, you beat Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Then you lose to Michael Penix and Davis Mills. So it's like who are the real Bills? And somehow, and they're 7-4. But even still, it's like, who are the real Bills? You know what I mean? Dom, I know you know what I'm talking about, man.
100%.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm good.
Okay, so JJ, your thoughts about this game, and what are your thoughts on the Bills' AFC East hopes after last night?
Well, I think Dom is half right about the James Cook, because I think they ran him, but I didn't think they stuck with him at the end of the day. The way this game shaped out after the first quarter, first half, this should have been more of a Josh Allen between 21 to 24 throws, and James Cook has like 26, 27 carries. Because what was actually working for the Bills was the run game, but they didn't stick with it well enough. At the end of the day, it's not surprising that this team lost this game because this had cover the spread for Houston written all over it. But what happened was the turnovers. The turnovers ultimately is what caused the problems because the 2 picks happened off of tips and potentially crazy throws that Josh Allen had. And then the other one for Khalil Shakir was a fumble. Offensive line couldn't block. Houston's defense is very strong. At the end of the day with the Buffalo Bills are good, but at the same time, they had a healthy stretch of Keon Coleman. So there's some discipline issues going on with this team as well. If they had Keon Coleman out there, that does give them a different piece while they get James into the fold. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing that happens with Baltimore that I'm starting to see with them. Sometimes it's not going to be your quarterback that's going to be able to win this game. Sometimes it is going to be a time where against a big-time opponent, you may have to have your quarterback not look good against them, but you still win the game from your run game. I've seen it Baltimore every time they play against Kansas City Chiefs, and I see it now against the Buffalo Bills against these teams. At the same time, I don't think that they're walking against teams that they don't. No, I think even the bad teams, like Atlanta's had some bad breaks. It's not as if they've had games that they weren't in. They almost beat the Patriots. They almost beat the Colts. And it's not as if like that. So that record, even though that team is a 3-8 or 3-7 record, to me that's a 3-7 team that, yeah, you play them, you think you're going to walk over them, you're not going to because they're competitive.
It's still the NFL, and I mean,
and so, but yeah,
almost every team in the NFL, even the real shitty ones, have had at least one or two really good games. Like, it's still the NFL.
But like even then, it's like you look at Atlanta's team, you don't look at it. If you look at that team and think that that's a team that doesn't have talent, then I think you and we will always. But I'm saying like we would actually agree to disagree. That team is not a team that's not competitive. It's not like you watch them and be like, oh, they need this and this. You watch them and be like, oh, they're almost there. They are just almost there as offense, as a defense. But even still with the Buffalo Bills, the Texans are fighting themselves. Davis Mills is not somebody that, and it's funny because my friend was doing a bet on this, and he was sitting there, and he had Josh Allen's completion percentage up, and then Davis Mills' fantasy score down. And I said, when I watched the Houston's defense, and I looked at the whole matchup, and I seen how Josh Allen played against the good defense, I was like, this may be a game that Josh is going to struggle. Granted, he had to have a trick play to get in position to win this game, but truth be told, Josh should have been under his normal regular season mark when it comes to passing yards because Houston's defense is strong. They're tough. That's what it is. But no, I think Houston's going to be a player. I think the AFC is still wide open from every shape or form. But no, I think Buffalo, hate to break it to Buffalo, but I think just as they say, Derrick Henry's the main reason why Lamar Jackson looks that great and always is good, and you need to continue feeding him to bring out the best of Lamar. I think it's time to say the same thing about James Cook and Josh Allen. I think if James Cook gets going, Josh Allen looks a lot better. You don't get James Cook going, Josh Allen don't look so much like Josh Allen.
Me and you have been saying that for a year.
You know, it's just, yeah. And I think at the end of the day, that's what was working for them. If they had 25 to 26 carries for James Cook, who knows? They might have won that game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ball control matters. Plus, maybe you have one less turnover if you've got, 8 more rushing attempts.
Yep. Indeed. And, with that being said, because you bring up Keon Coleman being on the sidelines, there has to be some sort of disciplinary issue or something like that. Last year's game, Keon Coleman actually burned us for a 49-yard TD and brought them back in the game. I think that was the game-tying score. They were down 17 at one point. James Cook. James Cook was one of the ones that I was like, okay, well, Houston's defense is really, really, really good. But if anyone can absolutely detonate on us, it's James Cook. But we say that about the man every single week, no matter who he faces. He can face Minnesota. He can face Cincinnati. He can face, he can face New England, Miami. It's on the division. James Cook is that type of dude, In the AFC East, it's not over with yet for them, but it's not looking pretty. Seeing as the Patriots have the Bengals on Sunday, and we're going to get to those in just a minute. But it's getting to the last stretch of the season, and the Bills are falling to, I think, 7-4. And here you have the Patriots, who could very well pick up their 10th win coming up here on Sunday. So from here on out, Buffalo, it's got to be pedal to the metal.
You need to reel off several victories in a row.
In a row, exactly. At a minimum, like you could drop. Like if you were to drop one more game, but don't let it be a divisional game. Like you could drop another game, just don't let it be a divisional one. But you're gonna need some ones like in a row from here on out. Meanwhile, for Houston's now won 6 of the last 8. Next 2 are gonna be tough at Indy and at Kansas City. And then we have the Raiders and the Cardinals left still on the schedule. We've got Indy one more time in week 18. And we travel to the Chargers. And Dom, I know you already know they could charge you that game. But no, Houston is now 6-5 and back in the mix of things. And if the Cardinals can pull the stunner on Sunday against Jacksonville, Houston will slide into the 7th wild card spot.
you got Jacksonville one more time too, right? You must.
No, we played them both already. We played them already both times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Totally off topic. Does anyone know offhand who the night game is on Thanksgiving? I was just curious because I have no earthly idea.
It is. Hold on. Bengals Ravens.
Oh. Oh, bro might be back for that.
Yeah, he very well may be. Well,
Bengals play who? Oh,
yeah,
they play
it's Cincinnati at Baltimore on Thanksgiving night.
I hate that we always have to. Gosh, I can't stand it. I'm tired of Thanksgiving.
Ravens are becoming the third permanent team on Thanksgiving.
I've been there, and it's annoying. It's so annoying.
Yeah, that the game on short rest is not that fresh. I'm just used to it because it's been that way for all my life. Plus, I don't know how many years in a row we played on Thanksgiving. It's got to be creeping up on
13 since 1932.
I was gonna say it's creeping up on like 100 years. I'm pretty sure it's like at least 80 plus.
Yeah, indeed. Well, when we return, we will go into our second topic, and that is an overall weekend preview of the NFL matchups. So don't go anywhere. We're going to pay a bill and a half. We'll be right back. Yeah, what up, motherfuckers? We bite.
Oh my god!
And this is the Gauntlet. I got Detroit Don right next to me, and then right down there in that black box. Okay, there it is. He's got light in his room again. We got JJ Mad Max Jenkins. JJ, did you watch a Mad Max film or something?
No, that's my favorite character's name on Stranger Things. Her game name is Mad Max. Max from Stranger Things.
Okay then. Yeah,
you ever seen Stranger Things? You never seen Stranger Things?
Is it worth it for me to pick that show back up? I know I saw the whole first season and probably the second one.
I like it. I like it more so because it's relatable to growing up as a kid, even though it's supernatural. I always call it just a really long, good X-Files story. You know how the X-Files had those supernatural things and they had that villain as a 2-part episode? This one's like that, but there's a play that's a prequel to this that also now makes the upcoming season even more exciting because it's all connected. Like everything is connected. And so it's I can understand why people kind of get maybe a little slowed down on it because it does kind of require you to kind of keep your mind open to certain things. And like the villains and the antagonist is not like what you would think. But it's cool. It's cool. Like, could you imagine like us right now talking, but flip it over? It's our same house, our same space, but darkness, evil, upside down. Like, it's kind of crazy to think. Like, really weird.
Okay. Well, so with that being said, check out Stranger Things.
I get binge fatigue real easily, even when it's shows that I really, really like. Like sometimes I almost want to go back to when shows were on TV and you only got to see one episode per week, and then you had to wait 6 days to see another one. Maybe that's the move. Trying to get into or get back into a show.
Maybe, quite possibly. Well, so we didn't have a picked off this week, so I figured we condense it all into one topic, and that's the feature. This weekend's preview. We won't go through every single match, just some ones that are intriguing to us. So weekend preview. I mean, we've got some pretty interesting matchups here. We got the okay. Sorry, JJ, but Jets and Ravens just ain't. We know who's gonna win that game. But I mean, we got Coach Chiefs on the board. We've also got.
Steelers, Bears,
Cowboys, Steelers, Bears. Yeah, but you know what, JJ, we'll start off with you, man. Which games do you think is the most intriguing for the weekend? and put in there, what's at stake, but go ahead, man.
I actually think the Steelers-Bears is pretty intriguing because I think it's the Bears has a chance. Because I think right now, as it stands, they are the number one in their division. I think this is a chance for them to possibly either continue to further keep up their lead or possibly extend it. But they're going against a tough team that, even though I'm not sure if Aaron's playing, because I think it's uncertain, but whether they play or not, the one thing that Pittsburgh does is they always are ready to play a team. And so I think that's a pretty interesting matchup. I like the Bears. And I like what they're doing. I like the connection that Caleb is having with some of his players. Like, Odunze, he and him have a pretty good connection. They're figuring, they could, you never know how they're going. But I think at the end of the day, this will be a first time they'll have a winning season in a while. At the end of the day, they're playing pretty good. I like this matchup. I'm very curious about it. If they could beat them and the Baltimore wins their game, that puts them both at 6-5. So we'll see.
Indeed. Any other games you had as far as on the weekend?
Well, the Rams and the Bucks is pretty. I think I would say from a sports bet standpoint, people like betting and stuff. If you're looking for a good over, the Rams versus the Bucks would be a pretty good over because at the end of the day, I think both teams have really good offenses. Rams look like a more complete team. But it has the type of potential to be a closer and possibly upset that could be waiting to happen with the Bucks because they're not exactly out of situations. But I like that game. I like the shootout potential for that game because let's face it, the Rams look good. Matthew Stafford looks good. But that's pretty much in my game, of course, because I would like to see us win. But I would like to have a really strong defensive effort to win this game. That's what I'm looking for. I wouldn't mind if the offense only scored like 2 touchdowns and we went by like 24-10 or something. Like I want to see a defense like really shut this thing down.
With that being said, Justin Fields has been benched and for the second time this season, and backup quarterback Ty Goat Taylor will be taking the reins for the New York Jets. Don, what do you have, or who do you have as one or some of the most intriguing games of the weekend?
I'm thinking it's the Colts and the Chiefs. I know JJ is far from a believer in the Chiefs. I can't say I'm all the way there yet myself either. But, this is huge for both teams. Kansas City, there's still, 7 weeks left in the season. Their playoff hopes are starting to dwindle, hanging on by a very not sturdy thread. And if they lose this game, they just fall further back in the standings of the division, seed-wise for the wild card. And this is the type of game, anyone that's not a believer in the Colts, if the Colts can go out and win this game, I think we can say they're officially for real. Other than that, I just had the matchups pulled up and then the window closed. I didn't really see anything else where I was like, ooh, that's going to be a really good game. So, yeah, it's mostly Colts Chiefs for me.
Okay. I would say... yeah, that is true, Bacon. That is true. I would say for me, so you had none others done? Not even, hold on a second. Who y'all got? Oh, y'all got the Giants.
The Giants. I don't think that's going to be the sort of blowout that a lot of people think it is.
It is a double-digit line.
The Giants have a good D-line, and if they can kind of follow the blueprint as far as getting pressure up the middle, that which has worked with several other teams in our losses this year, it's tough. I don't recall what the line is, but I would definitely take the under.
The line is currently Detroit by 12.5.
Yeah, that's way too much. I think we win by 7 or 8, maybe less.
Yeah. I don't have the Lions covering. Let's see.
Excuse me if I take that line.
Hold on a second. You said you would take the line?
Excuse me if I actually think I would take that line.
You hate double-digit lines.
I do, but there's a lot of double-digit lines this weekend, so there's more chance for some of them to actually clear. You've got a double-digit line for this one. I think you have a double-digit line for the Patriots and Bengals. You got double-digit lines. It's sweet. I don't like them, but one of them
Seahawks
is going to
Titans
clear.
is 13.5.
Yeah, one of them is going to clear.
That one I would take.
Oh, the Hawks blowing them Titans out? Yeah. I got the Hawks covering.
What's the line in Philly, Dallas?
Eagles
Like
by
4 or
field
5.
goal. 3. Eagles by field goal.
Wow.
Were you expecting a blowout line?
But no, maybe like a touchdown or something. But no, they got them by a field goal.
That's in
I
Dallas.
thought it would be like Eagles by 6 or maybe 7.
Dallas is kind of hanging around in the weeds. And Quentin Williams just had his best game in like 2 or 3 years last week.
True. What were you gonna say, JJ?
No, I was saying Dallas does play them pretty tough.
Typically, they do play them pretty tough in Dallas. So I mean, I'm not overly shocked.
Consider this: imagine how George Pickens and them were benched on the first drive, and it actually motivated them to play better. That's actually a pretty big, significant change in his personality, given all that he has been known to be up until this point. So it's not saying it's a total shift, but for what everyone says about Dallas, and even myself, that is pretty interesting to see somebody that's known to be negative when he's been disciplined and against a team that allows negativity to fester, but he didn't. It motivated him and CD Lamb. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see this game because I think that's a nice little tandem that they have. CD and George Pickens can catch every ball. They can run every route, and we'll see.
Yeah, indeed. So, of course, I have Colts Chiefs. This right here. I mean, the Colts they very well could go to 9-2, or they could drop this game. The Chiefs could fall below 500 this late in the season for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era. But you got two strong teams, obviously. All referee stuff aside, I think that the rest of the league has caught up to Kansas City, and this is why you're seeing the 5-5 record as is. That and their zero boys have.
Yeah, when it comes to the Chiefs, I got 2 numbers for you: 12 and 5. 12-0 was the record of 1-score games last year. This year, 0 and 5.
Yep.
Someone did rudely remind me yesterday, though, that the first year that the Chiefs won it with Mahomes, they were 6-5. I just went on a roll. I don't see that happening this year, but it's not. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. Until they're mathematically eliminated, I'm not counting the Chiefs.
I'm not counting them out. Yeah, no. Very true. Very true. They're very well, maybe a wild card this year. But and then of course I got Steelers Bears. Fun fact: the Pittsburgh Steelers have only won one time in their franchise's history at Soldier Field. Their lone victory was a 37-34 overtime win in 1995 en route to winning the AFC that year. That one's going to be
Neil O'Donnell, or is that Cordell?
Both. It was Neil and Cordell.
I say Cordell was 95 too. I remember that. And Neil, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then let's see here. No, not that one. I think you know what. Nothing to it. What Grizz said right here. He says he sees Detroit blowing the Giants out. Detroit usually destroys someone coming off a loss.
That is true. We have not lost back-to-back games in like 3 years. This is definitely not. I mean, at this point, I mean, I don't see it happening, but, you know, I'd feel a lot better about things if we, I don't know, 1 out. I don't think we're going to. We still got to play the Rams at the Rams. We got Green Bay on Thanksgiving. That Week 18 game in Chicago is looking a bit tougher than I would have thought that it would have.
Mm-hmm. Because they found themselves.
I think the Bears will have fallen apart by then. They've got a tough stretch ahead. they've got a great record, and Caleb Williams is playing better. Is Ben Johnson the sauce there? They also have a really good run game. They're like third or fourth in the league in rushing between Swift and those other two guys. But
yeah,
I don't know how long Chicago can keep this up. They still haven't beat a team with a winning record, and they've struggled to win multiple games against teams with said below 500 records. But it is the NFL.
No. Very true, very true. And then let's see and you know what? Another game that would be intriguing, may not be intriguing to anybody on this panel, but Browns Raiders is going to be intriguing because it is Shedeur Sanders' first start.
The Cliff Bowl, according to our friend of the show, Cliff Betts. He said something about the Cliff Bowl. I was like, "What's the Cliff Bowl?" He's like, "Oh, Browns Raiders." I'm like, "You gave it a name?" I'm like, "That's kind of cool, I guess."
Yeah, shout out Cliff Betts, man. But yeah, it's gonna be Shedeur's first start. So either he does good and doesn't lose the game, or he lights up the Raiders outside of Max Crosby are pretty putrid. I think if you keep Max Crosby away from Shedeur Sanders, he's probably got the game 50% won because the Raiders really don't have much else. I mean, they have Brock Bowers, you know what I mean? But I trust Browns defense over the Raiders defense. And so I actually took the Browns in this one. I think just as a team, all quarterback issues aside, just as a team, they have a better one than the Raiders. And then on top of that, Quinshon Jenkins is still playing, or is he concussed? Is he playing this weekend?
He should be playing. I don't know.
I'm wondering if Jerry Judy's ever going to get off that milk carton. I thought I saw him at the grocery store. I'm like, oh, no, that's just his picture on a milk carton.
Oh, and and I had another one other than Eagles-Cowboys, obviously. Believe it or not, I had Panthers-49ers Monday Night Football as an intriguing game. This one right here, the Panthers are playing some of their best ball since Bryce Young has been on the team. Him being the gauntlet grinder for you saw what he did against Atlanta. And I actually picked the Panthers to pull the stunner against the Red Cowboys. I picked the Panthers to win, to pull off the upset in Santa Clara. John, your thoughts about that matchup?
Bless you, twice. Panthers are playing some good ball. And you know my feelings about the Red Cowboys, although Purdy did look pretty good this past week, but it's like, you know what I always say about quarterbacks, when you have two, you have none. And if Purdy goes out there and lays an egg and Carolina wins, what does Kyle Shanahan do the following week? Like, it's almost like now that Purdy's healthy, even if let's say he's not playing well, it's like, you can't really bench a $250+ million quarterback, can you? Or can you? I don't know. I have absolutely no envy for Kyle Shanahan whatsoever because quarterback controversies suck.
JJ?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you can definitely do it, but I do think, to Dom's point, I feel like we often put too much value on the fact of figure on somebody. I personally don't think that there is a QB controversy because I think they always believed that once Brock was healthy, they was going to have him anyway. I mean, they both play well in that system, but even if he is healthy, they're still not a fully healthy team. So it's really hard to gauge the 49ers because, yeah, the offense is back, but the two best defensive players on their team and top three at their position are not in this year. So it's like you haven't had a chance to see a full squad. When you did see a full squad this year, they went to, I think, a 2-1 record. So I think this is a pretty good test for them with Carolina Panthers, but I think this is a thing I think they can really kind of win pretty well. They have a little comfortable lead on this one because they do have their talent. Chris McCaffrey's doing his thing. George Kittle's back doing his thing. He has Ricky Pearsall who's going to get into the flow. I mean, they have pieces. I like this for them. I don't think they're going to be a player, but I think the NFC West is going to send 3 teams to the postseason.
They very well might. They may send the 49ers as well. Like I said, I don't trust the Niners to close out the division. I think it's going to be out of the Rams or the Seahawks, in which I'll stick with my preseason pick with Los Angeles Rams. But them sending 3 teams to the postseason, absolutely, I can see that. I can
The
totally see
Rams
that.
might be the best team in football right now, especially if you're not a Colts believer. It's just I trust Matt Stafford a little bit, and when I say a little bit, I mean a lot bit more than I trust Daniel Jones.
That's fair. That's very fair. That's very, very fair. Matt Stafford has had a ton of good seasons. Daniel Jones has won in 2022 with the Giants, which, I mean, people might have called a fluke season and shit, but whatever, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, until this year, it was definitely an outlier.
All right, well, you know what? We got a couple minutes left. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we return, it'll be our non-sports topic. It's that time of year again. You know what it is. So, we'll be right back with more Gauntlet. Yeah, let's do it, motherfuckers. We bike, and this is the non-sports topic. It's that time again, y'all. Next week is Turkey Day.
Lord.
For the third damn time, it is the first day of JJ's vacation, his Thanksgiving vacation. You heard me? So with that being said, what's y'all's plans for Thanksgiving, man? What are y'all looking forward to eating on the table? I know we're gonna be watching some football, of course. You know what I mean? Drinking a little something. Matter of fact, Dom, I went and got 2 bottles of cognac already for next week, already for Thanksgiving. You know,
Nice.
so yeah, so you know, I already got that on deck. So, but what you got going on, man?
We were talking about trying to go to Windsor, across the border, south of Detroit, because South Detroit, it's actually Windsor. There is no South Detroit. But anyways, there's
Windsor, Canada?
Yeah. It's not
Okay,
happening
go
though,
ahead.
because no buffet at Casino Windsor and no buffet at any of the Detroit casinos either. We were doing that probably 4 out of the last 7 or 8 years, but then after COVID, they all shut down for a while, and it doesn't look like any of them have reopened. My mom's getting older, and she's like, I really don't want to cook all this food for 3-4 people, but that's what we're doing.
You actually called her mom instead of Carol this time?
I did. I'm slipping.
Yeah.
There's actually an ongoing debate as we speak between me and the girlfriend as to who's bringing the mac and cheese. She made it last year, and it was good. I made it the 2 years prior in the slow cooker, which I don't think I'll ever do again. I don't think mac and cheese is something that's meant to be cooked in the slow cooker. It just kind of it still ended up being good, but it all kind of congeals, and you don't really get like the baked cheese top like you would in the oven. So I'll probably let my girl handle that. Other than that, football. Who's Dallas play?
Kansas City.
Oh,
Yeah.
it might actually be 3 good games.
What you sipping that day?
That is a good question. I don't know. I was at when I was at Kroger the other day, I noticed they've already they've got all the nog in stock, but I don't know why, but I usually try and wait until December 1st to start drinking the nog, because otherwise, like, I love that shit, but I don't think I could drink eggnog on a regular basis for like a month and a half. That's too much.
That's psychopathic, huh? What about you, JJ? What you got going on?
Yeah, we're about to go down to my cousin's house. They live out in middle Virginia, but I'm not sure how we're going to do it. I know that they have something going on between the night before Thanksgiving and the night of Thanksgiving, the day of Thanksgiving, but I don't know. I think I will say that Thanksgiving Day, I do want to make sure I have a really empty stomach, because breakfast is going to be just as big as the actual Thanksgiving dinner. And one thing that I've really loved this year a lot is the breakfast. I'm looking forward to stuffing my food with some pancakes, some waffles, give me some sausage links. Patties is cool too, but I prefer links. I would love to have my eggs over easy, but I'll settle for them to be scrambled, because I'll sit there and put syrup on there. But then when it comes to Thanksgiving meal, I'm taking everything. I'm going to have, I am # always mixing. I cannot
You're always
Thanksgiving. my food has to mix. I don't care. I will mix the mac and cheese with the cabbage, with the freaking mashed potatoes, with the freaking greens. I will mix with the turkey. I'm that guy that when I have one bite, it has every piece of my dish on it. I am that person.
No, same way.
Literally, everything except like the desserts, everything on your plate, it kind of goes together. Like the turkey goes with the mashed potatoes, with the stuffing.
Yeah.
Green bean casserole, fuck off. Get out of my house and green bean casserole.
A white boy
with
actually
you.
said fuck green bean casserole. That is classic.
I have never had casserole because we don't make it at my family. And
Yeah, because you're not white. And you have good taste. I've
heard people say that, and I'm like, no, like
it's just forget about like I'm biased. I can't stand green beans. Gun to my head, bite a green bean casserole, pull the trigger. Nice knowing you. But even if you like green beans, what about green beans and cream of mushroom soup? How does that sound good together? It's that white people shit, and I apologize on behalf of my race. It was not my idea. I do not support it. My mom makes a really good broccoli casserole with cream of mushroom soup, but that's just broccoli, cheese,
cream of mushroom
soup, and then more cheese on top.
Passable dish, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, like broccoli casserole.
I think it was my first solid food. Was that?
Yeah,
that
I mean,
broccoli
we've
casserole.
seen like pictures of we've seen some really good broccoli. We know y'all the casserole kings and queens.
We about to. It's all right, man. Listen, all right. Don't even. It's okay. People make dishes that Me, I don't like some dishes, but I will say the only thing I'm looking forward to is my first plate. It's going to be 2 hands to hold it because it's going to be so much on it. But it's all about when to go take it. Do you be the first one to get everything? Do you wait till everybody else gets theirs? Because personally,
I'll be the first one in line. If everyone else is being shy, I have no problem kicking out the festivities. I like what you said about breakfast, though. Like, more families, because half the time your whole family shows up by noon. Why not have them show up at like 10? I mean, I get it. Sometimes the host doesn't want to make 2 full meals, but there's been a couple times over the years where we had breakfast and then dinner a little bit later, which I prefer. Because Carol was asking me the other day, she's like, "Oh, well, what time do we have dinner? And what time's the football game?" And I'm like, "Well, you're cooking, so we can have dinner, whenever you want to make it." I'm like, "The football game is at 12:30, the same time it's been on Thanksgiving for 80 years." It's like, "Oh, I don't know, because there's games at 1 and games at 4, and then there's that primetime game, and there's games on Thursdays now." And I'm like, "Yep, there is. That's all very true. But the Lions game's always at 12:30. Write it down in ink. It will not change."
I was gonna say, isn't it like that's your permanent slot is 12:30? Like, isn't that like the permanent?
Yeah, they tried to take it away from us a couple years ago, and I wasn't even mad. I was like, "Please take it away if that means the forwards will just be disgruntled beyond belief and sell." But I'm okay with Sheila Ford now. She's done more as an owner for this franchise than her late ex-husband, her grandfather. Well, wait, no, father-in-law. Suffice to say, pretty much everyone with the birth name of Ford has sucked ass. Sheila's not even a real Ford. She married into the family. Maybe that's why she's not cursed.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Well, that is all we got for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Grizz and Stingray in the comments for lighting it up with the comments and being engaged. Everybody, this has been the Gauntlet. We probably, you know what? More on that because I don't know if we'll be on Black Friday. It is Black Friday football and shit too. Anyway, look, y'all have a happy Turkey Day. This has been Denzel Snipes, Detroit Dom, and JJ Mad Max Jenkins. You all take care. Follow us on all of our platforms. Got the 2-for-1 special on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and also on X, and the 2-for-1 special on YouTube, James Tatum 12, and Sideline Sports. And with that being said, we are out of here. Dom's going to say goodnight to a random place in America. Good night.
Think of one. Good night, Lahaina, Hawaii.
Good night, Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Good night, Pasadena, Maryland.
Peace.